Hello everyone. Thanks very much for joining me today. My name is Asif Rehmani. Let me go ahead and actually put up my picture here. So that's me. I am the CEO of VisualSP, but I'm also a MVP. I've been MVP for SharePoint for the last 10 years, and I've had the opportunity, I should say, to write a few books along the way as well. My hope has always been to get my knowledge to the user's head, whoever I'm talking to, whether it be power users, end users, etc. And hopefully you are listening to this today, you're watching this today because you have this need as well as to how can I get the help to my users, the training, the support to my users when and where they need it. And what I'm going to be showing and talking about today is primarily this application. Actually, let me turn the edit off right now. But this application, which is called the VisualSP Online Help System, is the main focus today, giving the help the users need, wherever they need, whenever they need it, contextual in nature, and very much in demand, on demand, right? The reason that this exists is because in SharePoint, as well as Office 365, the current help that's provided is unfortunately just not adequate. It's not in context and it's not adequate help. So if a user currently goes on-prem or online, clicks on the question mark, a experience similar to this appears, whether it's in a window or in a sidebar like this thing. They just have to know what they need to know before they can find out what they need to know. And in my opinion, as a trainer, I don't think that's the kind of help that really helps users. So anyway, having said that, this is, as I mentioned, our product. This is very much for providing help to the users, like I said, when and where they need it. This thing right here shows on this point right now that there's 39 help items available in this particular context. So for this page that I'm looking at, which just happens to be a regular team site page, but it also says that these help items are available for me because I happen to be the administrator. That's why it's that many. If I was not the administrator, if I was just a reader, let's say, then a bunch of these things would not be available to me. Same thing if I was a contributor, then other things would not be available to me. So managing sites access and security, this stuff is only visible to administrators, obviously, right? So on. So it's completely role-based, and it's based on the context of where I am. Okay, and within that, these are all the different type of help items. So you got videos, that's what these are right here. We have these things which are actually pulling in information from a web page, so it shows any kind of web page you want to. Then there's walkthroughs right here, and then there's tabs. I'm sorry. Then there's what do you call that? The annotated screenshots or quick reference sheets. And if I'm looking for something specific, if I say, oh, there's a lot of this for here. Yeah, how about this one? Something related to a list is what I'm looking for. So it gives me the help very quickly using this search bar. Okay, and as I mentioned, if I go from here to somewhere else, let me go ahead and open up the contacts list. The contacts list is going to open up in a different tab altogether. And if I go here now, there's 27 items. Okay, so that's related to me. So quick reference. If I click on this, here it is. That's a quick reference for a contacts list. And since I'm here, let me just talk about this for a second. Very easy for a user to either print this out or have it popped out, and then they can view it on a different screen in this case, you know. So very easy for a person to reflect, to have this available to them wherever they want. All right, moving forward, I'm going to go back here to the first tab. The idea behind all this stuff is to help you get a turnkey system. It's a turnkey plug-and-play system that has all the stuff day one that helps the users in context, right? Compatible with all versions of SharePoint, by the way. So SharePoint, well, 2010 and beyond. So SharePoint 2010, 2013, SharePoint 2016, as well as SharePoint Online. Now, in addition to SharePoint, it's also compatible with Office 365 as well. Okay, so all SharePoint versions plus Office 365. So if you're looking for a solution for any of these things, you know, even Word Online, PowerPoint Online, that kind of stuff, as well as Yammer and other things, whatever you give access to your users, we can provide help on everything. Okay, let's dig inside. All right, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and show you a walkthrough. Actually, let's do that. How to get around in SharePoint. So that's a walkthrough, also called a call out. You know, it's just calling out a specific feature on the site. So here we go. It's giving me a tour now, highlighting things along the way. As an end user, this kind of stuff is extremely helpful to them. You know, where am I now? The quick launch menu. So you got these borders as well, which by the way could be any color. This is a pre-built walkthrough, what I'm showing right now, but these walkthroughs can be customized. You can create new ones as well. Okay, let me click on next. And this last one also has a call to action button. So anytime a orange button appears, that orange button can be clicked by the user to give them more information, deeper information about that step. So in this case, for example, searching, which is fine, it's pretty easy, but what about searching for people, searching for site collection, searching for documents? If the user wants to know, hey, what am I searching for? They click this button. Let me click on it. And in this case, a video appears, right? So this video appears and it shows them exactly what they need to know. Every video, by the way, that we have is 2 minutes or less, fully transcribed, and it's very much specifically for the user, for the end user. You know, an end user, of course, I look at end user as everybody from the reader, viewer, all the way to a site owner. Still, they're an end user, and they need to know these things. All right. Once again, here too, you can pop this out. You can have it available if you want. Okay, so on a different screen. Let me go ahead and close this for right now. So if I'm done, click on done. All done here. Okay. Okay. The deployment, by the way, I'm going to talk about some other things as well as I'm demoing some of these things. And at any point in time, by the way, if you want to try this out for yourself, or if you would like a demo for your whole team, feel free to go to our site, which I was just showing before, VisualSP.com. And then there's a free trial, and then there's also ways to schedule a demo as well. But let me come back over here. So what I was saying is the deployment also very easy. We can deploy it supporting classic pages, modern pages, all kinds of things, and all kinds of SharePoint environment, as I was mentioning, SharePoint 2010 and beyond. So that's pretty easy to do. Nothing else is needed by the user. It just works. It just shows up. Now you might be thinking, hey, this was a cool walkthrough that Asif just showed. How do you make your own? So let me actually do a quick one, show you how easy that is. I'm going to enable edit mode. Okay, here's my add help item button. Of course, this is only available to me because I'm the administrator here, and you would be the administrator then for your own environment. If I click on add help item, this is my editing pane that appears. And it's already telling me that, okay, let's go ahead and make a walkthrough. But in addition to walkthrough, which is definitely the primary thing that we know most people love and want, because that's creates engagement. But in addition to that, you can have other stuff as well. You can surface a document, you can surface images, rich HTML box, videos. I think I showed a video before, web pages, YouTube videos even, and all that stuff, right? So, okay, keeping the walkthrough in mind, I've just clicked on add help item, nothing else so far, and I'm going to go, I can name it something. Let me just name it test for right now, and I'm going to say switch to walkthrough builder. Okay, so it just went to this third tab over here, and here I have title, content, target element, placement. These are the core things. That's it, very simple. Target element, I'm going to click on this arrow and I'll select a target, any target. So in this case it's going to be this one. Okay, start a 30-day full feature free trial. Okay, and I'll say use it. So it now has that element targeted. It could be any element. Even if you cannot find the element in your advanced user, you can use a jQuery selector to just define an element directly here manually. Title here is going to be schedule 30-day demo. I'm going to make it bold. Click here to schedule the demo. I went ahead and used Control B, so I did it here, but I could of course take this and use these things as well, obviously. And then there's also ways to insert links and all the other good stuff. Okay, so all I've done so far, target element, title, content, and I'll also use the placement to say, you know what, show the bubble on the right. That's it. There's many other advanced properties, but I'll just do this so far. Click on preview, and that's it. Very simple to make these bubbles or these callouts. and making your walkthrough happen. So this was just a one-step one. Obviously, if I wanted more steps, here's my step 1. I'll do step 2, step 3, step 4, and then I can just fill these things up. Okay, just like that. And then there's many other kind of properties for this help item that I'm making. I won't go into all them right now, but you could change the actual icon to be whatever. This is a walkthrough in this case. The group, which group do you want to put this in? And the group, by the way, is this right here. So each of these things is a group. Okay, and you can make your own, obviously. And then there's scopes that you can have. So since our product was built with SharePoint specifically in mind, and then of course we support Office 365 as well, but with SharePoint specifically, we know about all the different scopes. So we can say, you know what, hey, go ahead and support all the contact list or all the calendar list with this walkthrough. So automatically it's just going to push it out if I wanted to. So if I say show selected right now, it's already telling me that it's focusing or it's targeting the wiki page, which is, as you know, a team site page, this one. I didn't have to do anything to check that. All I did was add a help item, and it automatically knows that that's where I am. So it selected that as my scope. But now if I say, you know what, in addition to this one, go ahead and support, or target the contacts list as well, then automatically it's going to push it out to all contacts list. So you could do it where you're picking a template or type of object and you're just selecting and showing it to all the places where this object shows up, in this case contacts list. You can also do it for a specific URL. You can say, all right, I just want this particular location, or you could say that this location and anything under that location. So that could be maybe the one site collection this way. You can say, all right, this URL and anything under this URL, go ahead and target with this item. And one more thing over here, the permissions. We understand within SharePoint, of course, with all these different permissions, so we support this as well. They can have all the different permissions that you can target with the help item. Okay, so I can say, all right, target it to all the people who have edit control, edit permission or contribute permission. And here it is. It shows all that stuff, which you can change as well, by the way, if I wanted to, and make it custom. So bottom line, we can target any object within SharePoint here. We can target any type of user, and then those users will see it or not see it. So very deep into the SharePoint specific as well. And here on bottom, one of my favorite features in my opinion. See, this walkthrough that we just made right now, which I haven't saved it yet, but this walkthrough, which I'll preview again, just a one step. Actually, it's more than one step right now, but the other steps are empty. But this walkthrough, if I want it to appear automatically for users, which makes a lot of sense in my opinion, then I would say, you know what, let's go ahead and turn this to 1. So the first time they would come to this page, automatically it's going to show that walkthrough. I think it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And in this case, it won't bother them after this one, by the way. So it's just going to be the first time and nothing after that, or the third time if you want, and nothing after that. So you could definitely do that, and that's what this is explaining here. In addition, you can also say, you know what, let me do it for a certain date. So you can say, all right, after November 26th or something. So after that, show it, or something like that. So very possible. You could do all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Oh, I think, okay, so what happened is saying it's missing required properties, because of course I made all these other steps right here and I didn't do anything in them. Delete, 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 and this one is good. It should let me do it right now. Save. Here you go. So just quickly to go back here, see now it's flashing here saying that there's some new item. That's a user will see that as well, the flashing. So if you don't have it that's coming up automatically, at least they'll see the flash and they'll know there's something new out there that they can look at. And here's my walkthrough. Okay. Once again, it could be on demand, so they can execute it from here, or they could just have it, it could just appear automatically because if you pushed it to them. Okay, going forward, here's what I want to do. I have this other walkthrough that I showed you before. I'm going to go ahead and click on the edit so you can see how this walkthrough was built. Walkthrough builder, bunch of stuff in here. So everything is available to you when you get the product. You can go ahead and customize it. You can look at it as reference for creating your own walkthroughs if you want, etc. And as I was mentioning before, I believe I mentioned this already, that this is not just in classic SharePoint interfaces, but this functionality and everything else for that matter is available everywhere. Okay, so if I go to, let me close this over here. If I go to a modern page, and that's going to be a modern document library in this case, same thing. I see there's 6 items available here. In fact, I hope you saw this, that I didn't do anything, and this walkthrough came up automatically right now for me, because this is the first time that I've come to this page. Next. So this I wanted to point out here as well, and I'm glad this came up. That, see, now there's no next button here. There's no next button because I wanted, or actually our engineer who made this wanted the user to interact with the item directly. So this built-in walkthrough is saying, hey, go ahead and click on this for it to continue. There's no next button. So they have to click on it. And then it continues into the next step. So it drives engagement as well. And things like this where it's saying, you know what, you can click the filter icon, you'll see a lot more stuff or less stuff, and then continue, and then done. So anyway, a lot of good stuff you could do. Modern pages, same exact thing as the classic interfaces. Let me show you one more thing here. So in addition to this walkthrough, which is started up automatically, there's of course a bunch of other things here as well. If I click on this one, Document Library Overview, this is one of my favorites in my opinion, because it really gives a nice overview for the users. They can print this out of what the modern document library looks like. You know, this is pretty confusing for users when they see it for the first time, so it's good for them to print this out or have it available somewhere where they can see it. Okay. So a lot of good stuff, hopefully. Let's see. Yes. One question that always comes up by this point, I'm sorry, seeing it already come up, is what about all this content? Who maintains it? There's a lot of content obviously that we supply, not just here, but as I was mentioning in Office 365 as well. So this in case is Outlook, and there's Outlook content, and there's content everywhere. So we actually focus and maintain all the fundamental content. Okay, that's what our group does. It won't be hundreds of pieces of content in each place, but it will be a good mixture of fundamental content that's important to that application, to that page, and we maintain that. Okay, the updates happen on a monthly basis as needed, but it's not drastic updates that we make, and we inform you as well of the updates so you know exactly what's coming down the pipeline, and you can turn it off if you wanted to, but it's just fundamental changes or fundamental additions. Anything that's specific to your business, obviously you would cover that, so we just focus on the fundamentals. Hope that helps. Maybe at this point I want to also show, because people ask at this point here as well, that, you know, are we serving other clients? Obviously we've been a company since 2005, and 2012 is when we started doing a lot of the VisualSP product based things. Before that we were more of a training company and education company, but since then, since 2012, we've been able to service a lot of clients over time. So a bunch of different clients that we already have, hoping you become one as well. But I just wanted to show you this you can get to from visualsp.com if you wanted to see it and accompany our clients. Okay, moving forward though, we're not done just yet. I also wanted to show that, you know, one of the case scenarios which helps quite a lot is supporting users with this content. So for example, I just made this new walkthrough right in front of you, right? And after making it, there's this link icon that appears right here, and this appears for everything, by the way. There's a link everywhere, which means that I can take the link to this, I can say copy this, and I can send a link, this link that I just got copied on the clipboard, anywhere to anybody. Let's say if I emailed a link to a person who was struggling with a specific process, right? I just email it to them and they click on that link, and here's what happens. They get to that page, that exact page, and automatically the walkthrough starts up. And it could have been a video, it could have been a walkthrough, it could have been a tip sheet, it could be whatever you want it to be, but that help item contextually automatically starts up and shows the users what they need to see, which I think as a trainer myself is extremely helpful and a great scenario for for supporting users. Okay. All right, going back over here, let me also show you that with all the stuff that's happening, all these clicking that's happening, there's analytics behind everything that captures all these things. So if I click on View Analytics, this will show me across, because this is deployed on all Office 365 applications here, in my place over here, it's going to show analytics for everything. Okay, so it's going to show analytics for PowerPoint Online, Excel Online, Yammer, Forms, Sway, SharePoint, everything. Okay, and I can also view it as a graph. I can export these things, as a pie chart, and I can export these things as well. See, the primary usage of the application in this environment is in SharePoint Online. Not a surprise. Clicks by browser, clicks by viewer media type, so video, walkthrough, other kind of video and stuff. And then there's this says user email, but then it gives a GUID because in this particular subscription I have the email turned off. Many companies ask us to have this turned off for privacy reasons, but you can have a GUID or you can have user email show up, whatever makes sense for you. And then within that person, you can also see exactly the type of things that that person is doing. Okay, so how much utilization is this person having with walkthroughs and videos and other stuff? You can see exactly what that is. Clicks by URL, clicks by help item, and then within each help item also you can expand this and it will show you exactly the different users or how many users are using this. So a lot of analytics, a lot of good stuff that's being utilized here. Oh yeah, there's also a tab here as well. I forgot to mention that this tab is actually for the administrators. So it's for you, so you know what the different things you can do, like editing a help item or creating a new help item, etc., managing users. So all that stuff, it's going to be for you to manage the application itself if any questions you have. And obviously you can contact us at any point in time. Our team is super responsive with all these things. We pride ourselves in that. I want to show you one more scenario which comes up quite a lot. So aside from all these things that I've talked about so far, many times we want to just help our users in guiding them filling out a form or something like that. Forms are used all the time, obviously. And I just want to give you a pre-built or show you a pre-built example of if you want to help them. Of course, this is just a regular issue tracking form in SharePoint, but imagine this is any type of form that you want users to fill out, right? So how do you help them fill it out? How do you guide them? How do you provide them on-screen guidance for a form which might be a complex form? Okay. So here's a walkthrough that our team created, just a sample walkthrough. And let's say this comes up automatically. Here we go. Highlighting it, showing information about it, even showing links in here saying, please first review the guidelines. And if somebody does click on it, then guidelines appear here, right? A different page in this case. Okay, and then so let's say they go ahead and fill this out, click next. Now it's highlighting this, saying that start typing something in, and I'll help you with the remaining stuff. Here we go. Great. And then you can choose something, so it's telling you to do that. Great. There's even buttons here that give them further explanation. So okay, what does it mean by active resolve close? Let's say we want to explain the choices. I click on explanation, and of course this was pre-configured by our team, but extremely easy to configure things like that as well. So now they know exactly what these things mean, right? And next and next, I think, but you get the picture. Guiding them, on-screen guidance to help them fill out a form, which is a very needed thing to do, of course, for many organizations. So I just wanted to point this out as well. All right, I believe I've covered almost everything here. One of the questions that also come up, let me go ahead and answer that one, is where's all this stuff saved? All these items, the things that we have, walkthroughs and items and all that stuff is saved in our Azure. The application is there too. Another question, of course, would come up is that what if I make my own items? What about that? So if you added a new item and you got a video or something else that you're putting in, by the way, it's very easy to do that. Let me just quickly show you that if I did choose a video, you just have to put a URL for the video there. So the location of where your content is can be anywhere. It could be on your streaming media server for a video. It could be in your site assets library. It could be a PNG file. It could be Word, Excel, whatever you want it to be, and wherever you want it to be. Completely up to you. In your own Azure, that's fine too. So we make things flexible enough so that you can control the content to be anywhere you need it and you want it to be hosted. Okay, that's it for right now. So hopefully you got enough information out of it to understand and see if you want to move forward. Let us know at visualsp.com. If you have any questions, go over here. You can get a trial, you can get a demo, as I mentioned before, schedule a demo for your entire team so we can do it one-on-one for you guys, and let us know how we can help. If there's any, of course, feedback from what I've done so far, that would be great to know as well. Thanks very much for attending, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.